All right, Shelby, thank you. Travelers had to contend with weather over the holiday weekend, and Utah Highway Patrol troopers say the first big snowfall in the valley added some extra challenges.
Starting out just Thanksgiving night and into the Friday, we had a big first snowfall here in the Wasatch Front. It definitely contributed to more crashes. We saw a big increase in crashes on that Thursday to Friday.
Oh, they were busy. Troopers responded to about 200 crashes on our state's roads and freeways from Thursday through Sunday, with 100 of them happening in the first 24 hours of snowfall and an additional 100 stretching through the long holiday weekend.
The time right now is 4:35 in international headlines.
Coming up. All right, Brett, thanks. Honoring a man well known to Utah's pickleball community, and he's considered a pioneer in the sport. We've got his story coming up.
And looking out for your money.
Story.
Well, a celebration of life for a Utah man who died tragically during a vacation to the Caribbean. He was a pioneer of one of Utah's fastest growing sports.
Yeah, the weekend that we just had, he was remembered by the community that he helped build at a special pickleball event. News specialist Brandon Chavez with that story.
It's a sport that continues to grow in popularity, and a sport Ben Curbs loved to play.
He's one of the original people in Salt Lake that really got pickleball going in our community.
Curbs died in late October. His body was found on a beach in Puerto Rico after he went missing while out paddling. He was 52.
He was an adrenaline junkie and did so much.
His friend Jake Thomas says Curbs lived life to the fullest.
He had a very action-packed life, but he went out of his way to make other people have the fun with him.
A kind man who impacted many.
Within the last month of him passing, he was calling people and reaching out to them because he felt prompted to check on people. And that's just the way he was.
And was well known in the pickleball community.
I remember a tournament that we had down in Orem where he had an injured shoulder. He came and played in the tournament with his opposite hand, left-handed.
Saturday night, dozens packed Club Pickleball USA in Sandy, playing the sport he enjoyed to celebrate his life.
He did a lot for a lot of different people, and so this is just a way to honor him.
Players of all levels, including pro pickleball athletes, coming together.
The sport itself is all about community. It's about bringing people together and giving people an infrastructure and a support system and a friend system and a social network. That's what Ben was to so many people.
Having fun, just as Curbs would have wanted.
If you are feeling down, come play some pickleball. I think you'll feel better and you'll feel close to Ben.
Brianna Chavez, KSL 5 News.
Thank you for that report. And all the proceeds from that event went to his family. And if you would like to help, we have a link on our website.
Well, taking a live look from a top KSL broadcast in Southern Utah. Good morning. Travelers had to contend with the weather over the holiday weekend.
Yeah, troopers say more drivers on the road, in addition to the first big snowfall in the valley added to some challenges.
Starting out just Thanksgiving night and into the Friday, we had a big first snowfall here in the Wasatch Front. It definitely contributed to more crashes. We saw a big increase in crashes on that Thursday to Friday.
UHP, in fact, says there were about 200 crashes on state roads from Thursday through Sunday, 100 of them happening in the first 24 hours of that snowfall, and an additional 100 over the weekend.
Well, this morning we're learning the names where he is now in stable condition.
A celebration of life for a Utah man who died during a vacation to the Caribbean. He was a pioneer of one of Utah's fastest growing sports.
He's one of the original people in Salt Lake that really got pickleball going in our community. He did a lot for a lot of different people, and so this is just a way to honor him.
This weekend, Ben Curbs was honored by the community he helped build. Dozens packed Club Pickleball USA in Sandy, playing the sport that he loved. Curbs died in October in Puerto Rico. Friends remembered him as a kind man who lived life to the fullest. All the proceeds from the event went to his family.
Well, developing in national news today and test the patience there. Travelers dealt with snow, too.
Yeah, troopers say busy roads and the first big snowfall in the valley added some really extra challenges.
Starting out just Thanksgiving night and into the Friday, we had a big first snowfall here in the Wasatch Front. It definitely contributed to more crashes. We saw a big increase in crashes on that Thursday to Friday.
UHP says there were about 200 crashes on state roads from Thursday through Sunday, with 100 of them happening in the first 24 hours of snowfall. The additional 100 happened over the weekend.
Well, this morning, we're learning the names of 2 people killed.
KSL News at 4 starts now. Thanks for joining us. New at 4. We're getting our first look at what will now fill the former state prison site at the Point of the Mountain.
A living and working community set to be built with all kinds of amenities. News specialist Brianna Chavez joins us live from Draper with more on what we can expect, and this is in the near future.
Yeah, Debbie, that's right. Construction, set to start next spring on the Point. So it's going to be the first 100 acres of the total 600. And soon we're going to see housing, retail spaces, office spaces, you name it. It's practically going to be here at the Point. The Point of the Mountain State Land Authority says it took over 16,000 responses from Utahns into account to see what they wanted here at the Point of the Mountain, and they think this plan does just that. The phase 1 of the plan includes 3,300 residential units. About 400 of those will be considered affordable housing units, retail spaces and entertainment venues, 16 acres of parks, a river to range trail, and a new front runner station, much more with this as well. Today, the Land Authority and the private sector development company Innovation Point Partners formally signed an agreement to develop phase 1. Alan Matheson, the executive director of the State Land Authority, says it was important to make sure that they took the responses from Utahns into account and helped the state grow in what he says is a more thoughtful way.
This is a state project, which means all residents of Utah are owners of it. And we wanted to make sure that what we do is something that will make their lives better. This will be years in the development, and the speed will be based on the market, but we're trying to move it along quickly and provide the benefits to the people of the state as soon as we possibly can.
Okay. And the project's set to bring in hundreds of jobs as well. There's also going to be what's called an innovation district, which is aimed at attracting entrepreneurs and startups to be in that space and develop their companies. And the Point also set to be more sustainable. So we'll talk about that, plus more on how the affordable housing will work, coming up at 5 o'clock. Back to you.
All right, Brianna, I've been really watching that chunk of land. It's so huge. We look forward to hearing what you have to say at 5. Thanks.
Today, the hunt for holiday deals.
Now.
Good evening. We begin with a new lawsuit filed against Utah's top law enforcement officer.
Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes is being accused of using his position of authority to intimidate a critic of Operation Underground Railroad and its founder, Tim Ballard. News specialist Shara Park joins us live. And Shara, walk us through this lawsuit.
Okay, Dan and Debbie, Attorney General Sean Reyes has been named in many of the legal documents involving Operation Underground Railroad and Tim Ballard, but this is the first time a lawsuit has been filed directly against him. Now, this lawsuit was filed by Suzanne Whitehead, a Utah woman who worked in conjunction with OUR for an anti-trafficking charity in Nepal. In the suit, Whitehead claims OUR wrote a fake blog post claiming a connection to a Nepali shelter that was providing post-rescue for trafficked girls. She claims that OUR showed pictures of the girls and used their real names without consent and embellished their stories to sound worse. The suit claims that when Whitehead publicly challenged and criticized OUR for this, both she and her supervisor were harassed and threatened with legal action by OUR. Whitehead claims that eventually Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes contacted her supervisor asking about how they could work together. The suit alleges that Reyes used his position as AG to try and restrict Whitehead's right to free speech, claiming his conduct was done to intentionally harass or cause emotional harm. Now, this lawsuit also claims that fraud complaints that came into the AG's office about Ballard and OUR, that Reyes would send them to Ballard through his personal email. I've reached out to the AG's office for comment. I'm told they are working on a statement, and they will have that for us shortly. As soon as we have that, guys, we will certainly bring that to you. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Shara, thanks for that report. In other news, a mysterious
Welcome back. A new development will soon take shape at the Point of the Mountain. Officials unveiled plans for what's to come on the site of the former state prison, taking thousands of responses from Utahns into account. News specialist Brianna Chavez now joins us live with what we can expect in the next few years. Brianna.
Yeah, Dan, the large piece of land is soon going to have housing, retail shops, restaurants, an entertainment venue, you name it. So much more is going to be at Point of the Mountain. And after years of planning, the Point of the Mountain State Land Authority says that phase 1 of this plan is hopefully going to help Utah grow in a big and smart way.
Got ourselves an agreement. Let's make it happen.
An agreement to start building on 600 acres of land. The Point of Mountain State Land Authority and private development company Innovation Point Partners unveiling plans for Phase 1 of the Point, a new living and working community where the state prison once stood.
We've listened to responses, over 16,000 from residents of Utah, who have provided input on what they wanted to see.
Phase 1 includes 100 acres of housing, office space, retail space, and more. The legislator investing $165 million to build roads and water systems and add a new front-runner stop and a new river-to-range trail that will connect the Jordan River Parkway to other trails that lead to the Provo Canyon.
That river-to-range trail is going to open up active transportation, across that whole site.
You can also expect 16 acres of parks and open space, including a part built around the prison chapel.
You can have a great quality of life and live in an urban area.
About 400 of the 3,300 housing units set to be built will be affordable housing units.
That's based on the median income of people in the area. We've also created a housing trust fund that will take money generated from the site and use it to create affordability opportunities throughout the region.
The project also aiming to be more sustainable using low water landscaping and low water use appliances, rating buildings on energy efficiency.
I think a lot of people are concerned about what the population growth means to the future of our state. And we're not going to be able to stop it, but we can grow in more thoughtful ways.
A project that will hopefully accomplish that for years to come.
People say to me, well, where are we going as a city? And I'm like, we are going up.
And Innovation Point Partners is investing $2.3 billion into this project, so obviously very massive. And funding from the legislator is also going to be paid back through revenue that's made at the point over time. Construction is set to start next spring, and they're hopeful to have things up and running by 2027, Dan.
All right, Brandon, thanks for that. Well, new reports from the Gardner
Isolated from others.
A new lawsuit filed against Utah's top law enforcement officer. Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes is being accused of using his position of authority to intimidate a critic of Operation Underground Railroad and its founder, Tim Ballard. Well, this lawsuit was filed by Suzanne Whitehead, a Utah woman who worked in conjunction with OUR for anti-trafficking charity in Nepal. In the suit, Whitehead claims OUR wrote a fake blog post claiming a connection to a Nepali shelter for trafficked girls. She claims OUR showed pictures of the girls and used their real names without consent and embellished their stories to sound worse. The suit claims that when Whitehead publicly challenged and criticized OUR for this, both she and her supervisors were harassed and then threatened by legal action by OUR. Whitehead claims that eventually Utah Attorney General Sean Reyes contacted her supervisor asking about how they could work together. The suit alleges Reyes used his position as AG to try to restrict Whitehead's right to free speech, claiming his conduct was done to intentionally harass and cause emotional harm. We have yet to hear back from Reyes on this new lawsuit. You can track his response on the free KSL Plus app. We'll post it when we get it.
The new development at the south end of the Salt Lake Valley is starting to take shape. The Point will soon bring more housing, shopping, and overall growth to Point of the Mountain. Today, we saw a major step in the project. The Land Authority signed an agreement with developers to begin Phase 1 at the old prison site. They say this outlines the standards for the approximately 100 acres of change.
I think a lot of people are concerned about what the population growth means to the future of our state. And we're not going to be able to stop it, but we can grow in more thoughtful ways.
Those ways include drought-tolerant landscaping on the new grounds here. They also plan to build out the trail system to connect the Jordan River Parkway. Money on the loan from the state will help them build the roads and water infrastructure. Construction is set to start next spring, with the project finished by 2027. A change of